Hey, what's up everybody? It's robdialjr here, and let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever been in a meeting, on a call, or even just talking to someone important, and you start rambling, words tumbling out, thoughts all over the place, and suddenly you sound anything but confident? Yeah, I've been there too. It kills your credibility and makes you feel small. But what if I told you there's a simple 3-2-1 trick that top CEOs use to speak with total clarity, authority, and power, stopping the ramble dead in its tracks? Stick with me today because I'm breaking it down step by step, and by the end, you'll sound like the leader you're meant to be. Let's dive in! Listen, I want you to think back to the last time you were in a conversation that really mattered. Maybe it was a job interview, a big meeting with your boss, a pitch to a potential client, or even just trying to explain something important to someone you care about. You start talking and suddenly the words just keep coming. You jump from one idea to the next, you throw in extra details that don't really matter. You circle back to something you already said, and before you know it, you're rambling. Your heart's racing a little, you can feel the energy in the room shifting, and deep down, you're losing them. Their eyes glaze over. They start checking their phone, or they just nod politely while their mind is somewhere else. And the worst part, you walk away feeling smaller than when you started. You beat yourself up thinking, why couldn't I just get to the point? Why did I sound so scattered? That feeling sucks, doesn't it? I've been there more times than I want to admit. Early in my career, I'd get nervous and just fill the silence with whatever popped into my head. I thought if I said more, I'd sound smarter, more prepared, more passionate. But the truth is, it did the exact opposite. It made me sound unsure, unprepared, and honestly not like someone who should be taken seriously. Now contrast that with the way top CEOs and real leaders speak. Think about someone like Elon Musk, Satya Nadella, or Sarah Blakely. When they open their mouth, people stop what they're doing and listen. They don't ramble. They don't overload you with 50 different thoughts. They say exactly what needs to be said, in the right order, with zero fluff. And when they're done, you feel clearer, more inspired, and you respect them even more. They sound confident, in control, and like they know exactly where they're going. So what's the difference? Why do most of us ramble while these leaders always sound sharp and powerful? It comes down to one thing: how they handle the chaos inside their brain in the moment. See, when you're put on the spot, your mind explodes with ideas. You've got the main point, the backstory, the examples, the what-if feasts, the fears of leaving something out. It's all fighting to get out at once. And because there's no structure, it spills out messy. That mess makes you sound uncertain even if you know your stuff inside and out. People don't judge you based on how much you know. They judge you based on how clearly and confidently you communicate it. Rambling kills your influence faster than almost anything else. But here's the good news. CEOs don't have some magical gift that the rest of us don't. They've just built a simple system that organizes their thoughts instantly, no matter how much pressure they're under. They've trained themselves to filter out the noise and deliver only what moves the needle. And that system makes them sound calm, strategic, and authoritative every single time. That's exactly what this 3-2-1 trick does for you. It's not about speaking less because you're afraid. It's about speaking better because you're intentional. It rewires the way you think on your feet, so that clarity becomes your default. You stop overwhelming people and start leading the conversation. Your ideas land harder. Your confidence grows because you know you're showing up as the strongest version of yourself, and the people listening, they start seeing you as the leader you actually are. So if you're tired of walking away from important moments wishing you'd said less and landed more, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the exact framework that turns rambling into real power. Let's keep going. Okay, now that you get why rambling is quietly sabotaging your influence and why the best leaders refuse to let it happen, let's jump into the first part of this game-changing 3-2-1 trick. This is the foundation, the part that stops the chaos before it even starts. We're talking about the 3. Here's the deal: when someone asks you a question, throws you a curveball in a meeting, or puts you on the spot in any way, your brain wants to unload everything it knows. It feels safe to give all the details, all the context, all the possibilities, because you're scared of leaving something important out. But that's exactly what creates the ramble. Too many threads, no clear path. The fix? Force yourself to organize your answer around 3 things. 3 steps, 3 reasons, 3 lessons, 3 benefits. Doesn't matter what the 3 are, as long as there are only 3. This instantly gives your brain guardrails. It filters out the noise and gives your listener a simple roadmap they can follow without getting lost. Let me give you a real example. Imagine your boss asks, "How's that project going? The one that's been giving us headaches." Most people would start rambling. "Well, it's been tough, because the client changed their mind twice, and then the team was short-staffed last week, and we had that issue with the software update, but I think we're getting there." You know how that goes. 10 seconds in, your boss is already tuning out. Now watch, okay, you've got the foundation now with the 3, structuring everything around 3 clear steps, reasons, or ideas so your message has bones and doesn't collapse into a ramble. People can follow you, they're nodding along, and you're already sounding sharper than 90% of the room. But here's where we take it to the next level and make your words actually stick in their minds. This is the 2 in the 3-2-1 trick. Once you've laid out your 3 points, you layer in contrast with 2 things, 2 types of people, 2 approaches, 2 outcomes, 2 quick examples, one that shows the pain of doing it wrong and one that shows the win of doing it right. Why 2? Because contrast is how the human brain learns fastest. We don't remember lists of facts, we remember differences. We remember the before and after, the good and the bad, the failure and the success. When you give people 2 sides, you create tension and resolution in their mind, and that tension is what makes your message unforgettable. Let me show you how easy this is. Going back to that same project update with your boss, you've already used the 3 and said, there are 3 things we did to turn it around. First, we clarified the new client requirements. Second, we relocated the team to focus on the highest priorities. Third, we built in daily check-ins to catch issues early. Now add the 2. You could say, honestly, there are 2 types in situations like this. One type panics, starts blaming, throws in extra hours with no direction, and ends up farther behind. That's where we were 2 months ago, stressed out and spinning. The other type pauses, gets brutally clear on what matters most, and attacks it with focus. That's where we are now, ahead of schedule and calmer than we've been all year. Do you feel the difference? In just a couple of sentences, you've painted a vivid picture. You've shown the pain without dwelling on it. You've shown the progress without bragging. And you've made your boss feel the shift emotionally, not just logically. That's power. And it took maybe 15 extra seconds. Or let's say you're in an interview and they ask, tell me about a time you led through uncertainty. You start with your 3. There were 3 key moves I made. First, I brought the team together for full transparency. Second, I mapped out the worst case and best case scenarios. Third, I assigned clear ownership so everyone knew their lane. Then drop the 2. I've seen 2 ways leaders handle uncertainty. Some hide information, make decisions in silos, and hope it works out. Usually it doesn't, and trust erodes fast. Others overcommunicate, involve the right people early, and turn fear into fuel. That second path is the one I chose, and it's why the team still talks about that project as the moment we became unbreakable. Boom, contrast created, emotion triggered. You didn't just answer the question, you told a mini story that positions you as the kind of leader they want to hire. This works everywhere. On a sales call, there are 2 ways buyers approach this decision. Some drag it out, overanalyze every option, and end up stuck with the status quo they already hate. Others invest in the right solution early, get the problem solved, and free up their time and energy for bigger things. My most successful clients are always the second group. In a tough conversation with your partner, there are 2 ways people handle conflict. One is to avoid the hard stuff until it explodes later. The other is to address it directly but calmly, right when it matters. I want us to be the second type. The 2 adds depth and emotion without adding length. It prevents you from sounding robotic or bullet, pointy after the 3 bind. It turns information into insight. And most importantly, it keeps people engaged because now they're not just hearing you, they're feeling you. The best part, you don't need to prepare these contrasts in advance. Once you get used to the pattern, your brain starts spotting them naturally in the moment. You'll be mid-sentence and think, okay, what are the 2 paths here? The 2 outcomes. The 2 mindsets, and when you voice them, you'll watch eyes light up, heads nod harder, and the energy in the room shift toward you. So stack this on top of your 3, and you're already speaking with way more impact than you were 20 minutes ago. But we're not done yet, because next comes the part that turns good communication into leadership-level influence. Let's go to the 1. All right, you've built the structure with the 3, you've made it memorable and emotional with the 2, and now we're at the final piece, the 1, that turns a solid answer into something truly powerful. This is where you stop being just clear and start sounding like the person who owns the room. This is the closer the mic drop, the one thing that lingers long after you're done speaking. Here's what the 1 is. After you've laid out your 3 points and added the contrast with 2, you finish with 1 single core message, 1 key takeaway, 1 undeniable truth that ties everything together. No fluff, no extra ideas, just 1 sharp, focused statement that drives the nail in. Why? Because people don't remember everything you said. They remember the last strong thing you said, and they remember how you made them feel. The 1 gives them both. Think about the greatest speakers you've ever heard. They don't end with a summary of all their points. They end with a punch. Martin Luther King didn't list 10 things. He landed on, I have a dream. Steve Jobs didn't recap every feature. He said, 1 more thing, and then dropped the line that changed everything. CEOs do the same in boardrooms. They build the case, show the contrast, and then deliver the 1 decision or insight that makes the entire conversation worth having. Let me bring it back to our examples so you feel how this lands. Remember the project update with your boss? You hit the three actions you took to turn it around. Then the two types of teams, one that panics and falls apart, one that focuses and wins, and how you shifted from the first to the second. Now the one thing that made the biggest difference, deciding that clarity was more important than activity. Once we committed to that, everything else fell into place. That's it. Short, strong, memorable. Your boss doesn't walk away thinking about the software glitch or the client changes. They walk away thinking this person knows how to cut through chaos and get results. Or in that job interview about leading through uncertainty. You gave the 3 moves you made, the 2 ways leaders handle it, and now the one lesson I carry from that experience. Uncertainty isn't the enemy, lack of alignment is. Get people aligned fast, and you can move through anything. Instantly, you sound wise, experienced, and decisive. Not just someone who survived a tough situation, someone who grew from it and can lead others through the next one. Here's another one. You're pitching an idea to your team that they're skeptical about. You use the 3 to outline the plan, the 2 to contrast the cost of staying stuck versus the payoff of moving forward. And then the one thing I know for sure, if we don't make this change now, we'll be having the exact same conversation a year from today, only we'll be further behind. That's the kind of line that shifts minds. It's not aggressive, it's not manipulative, it's just true, and it's delivered with total certainty. The beauty of the 1 is that it forces you to get brutally clear on what actually matters. You can't hide behind 10 takeaways. You have to pick the one that carries the weight. And when you do, something powerful happens. Your voice naturally gets stronger, your posture straightens, and the room feels it. You're no longer just sharing information, you're declaring a truth. And here's the secret most people miss: the one isn't just for them. It's for you. Landing on that single point every time rewires your brain to think bigger and bolder. You stop playing small with scattered thoughts and start speaking like someone who knows their worth. Over time, that one move changes how people see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. So put it all together: 3 for structure, 2 for contrast and stickiness, 1 to lead and land with authority. That's the trick. That's how you stop rambling and start sounding like the CEO of your own life. Practice it once today, in a meeting, on a call, even in a text thread. Feel the difference and watch how fast people start listening to you differently. You've got this. Now go speak like the leader you are. All right, let's bring this all together. You walked in here today knowing that rambling was holding you back, quietly eroding your confidence, your credibility, and your ability to lead the room. And now you've got something far more powerful in your hands: the 3-2-1 trick. 3 for unbreakable structure. 2 for contrast that makes your message hit harder and stick longer. 1 to close with authority and leave no doubt about who's in control of the conversation. This isn't complicated. It's not about becoming a different person or memorizing fancy scripts. It's about giving your brain a simple framework that turns chaos into clarity every single time you open your mouth. And the moment you start using it today, tomorrow, in your next meeting, your next pitch, your next hard conversation, you're going to feel the shift. You'll speak slower, stronger, and with total intention. People will lean in instead of tuning out. They'll remember what you said. They'll start treating you like the leader you've always known you could be. So here's my challenge to you: don't wait for the perfect moment. Use it once today. Pick any conversation, any question that comes your way, and run it through 3-2-1. 3 points. 2 contrasts, 1 big close. Feel how different it is. Feel how much more powerful you become in 60 seconds flat. Because the truth is, the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more clarity. It needs more leaders who can cut through the clutter and say what matters. And starting right now, that leader is you. Stop rambling, start leading. Go make it happen.